All right, it's 11 o'clock. Good morning, everybody here. Let's start. Really happy to have all of you here with me today. This is Alicia here together with you. I'm one of the lead trainer in eco-sustainability and also the main speaker for the day here. So today, I'm not just going to talk about how to write a sustainability report. I'm going to talk about why it matters more now than ever. So simply think of sustainability reporting just like your financial reporting. It's not optional or nice to have. It's now a tool for business survival. So by the end of this session, I want you to walk away with one mindset shift. Sustainability reporting is now as serious as your balance sheet. So if you can't show where you stand on climate, and sustainability, you risk losing funding. So that means banks probably won't lend to you, or investors won't back you, and customer won't choose you. So it's that simple. So before we start, I would like to share with you a video. Let's watch this together. All right, a little bit about us. So, Eco Sustainability is a consultancy firm headquartered in Singapore with presence in Cambodia, Indonesia, Malaysia, Thailand, and the Philippines. And so, myself is live right now at Malaysia. So, these are our influence, and the numbers keep changing, and we will update from time to time. So eco-sustainability, this is the area that we have our presence in, and our core services include sustainability reporting, consulting, carbon credits, training, and policy. So our core expertise is sustainability reporting. So we work across globally recognized standards such as ISSB, SASB, ISO 14064, ISO 14067, and ISO 14068. So covering everything from ESG disclosure to GHG reporting, carbon neutrality, and product carbon footprint. So in total, we work across 17 standards, including assurance. So I want to share this is we are standards contributors. So you might be wondering, oh, what exactly is standards contributions? So let me make it simple for you. So first, there are standard setters. So the big names like ISSB, SASB, GHG Protocol, SBTI, VERA. So they create the rules. So then there are standard users. So the preparer who write the reports, the auditors, the regulators, the data companies. So they follow these rules. But there's this unique group that sits right in the middle. So, and that's where we come in as standards contributors. So what that means? So we provide technical commentary directly to the standard status, so helping shape and improve the standards through exposure drafts and technical consultations. So in short, we don't just use the standards, we help build them. So backed by our real on-the-ground working experience here. So quick housekeeping before we start. So this session is recorded for learning purposes. Please keep your mic muted so that we can keep the audio clean. If you've got any question, just drop them in the chat and my team will answer or we can cover them in the Q&A session. So, and please don't hold back on your question, and the only real mistake is staying silent and not asking. So by the end of today, you will walk away with five things. One, a clear understanding on what the ISSB framework is, not just in theory, but it's simple business language. Number two is a new way of seeing sustainability reporting, not a compliance exercise to tick the boxes, but a strategic management tool. Number three is the very first practical steps to start your own report, even for SME. And the fourth is the confidence to talk about sustainability with your management, auditors, bank, and clients. And the fifth one is a clear connection between sustainability disclosure and what it means for your business in terms of long-term value, risk management, and access to capital. So let's get into it now. So what exactly is sustainability reporting? So I like to think of it as the company's annual health checkup. So for example, when you visit a doctor, they check your heartbeat, your blood pressure, your overall wellness. So sustainability reporting does the same for your business. So it looks at your environmental and social vitals, such as your energy use, your employee well-being, your responsible sourcing, and governance practices. So here's a simple way to think about it. Your financial report tells you how much you earn this year. Your sustainability tells you whether you can keep making money in the future and without being disrupted by the rising costs, by the climate risk, and also social issues. And to keep it simple throughout this session, I will refer sustainability reporting as SR. So whenever you hear me say SR, you know what I mean. So I know many people tend to think SR is about looking good, showing how many trees you have planted, talking about charity, a list of CSR activities, but that is not what SR is. So SR is a business disclosure exercise. It's a structured, data-driven disclosure on how environmental, social, and governance issues affect your business performance, your risk, and your future cash flows. So this is why today the regulators, investors, and major customers won't ask, oh, what good thing are you doing? They ask, what are your risks? What are your numbers? What is your plan? Mm. So now that you know what SR is, so let's look at what it actually measures. So SR covers three big areas, and you might have heard of this term before. ESG, which stands for environmental, social, and governance. So it helps answer three questions. First, are you managing your environmental footprint responsibly? Things like your carbon emission, your energy consumption, your water usage, your waste management. Second, are you taking care of your people and communities? Things like employee safety, your fair wages, diversity, and how you impact the communities around you. And the last one, are you running the business ethically and transparently? So things like your board structure, anti-corruption policies, and how decisions are made at the top. So all this will give you a well-rounded picture on how sustainable and resilient your company really is. So not just financially, but operationally and socially as well. So SR isn't about the environmental, it's about how your company behaves and perform. So you might be wondering, oh, so where do company actually start? So normally, most companies start with electricity bills, fuel consumptions, and water usage because these are already tracked for operational or financial purposes. They are also the easiest to gather, which is why they naturally come the first pieces of the reporting puzzle. So once the foundation is in place, so company gradually move into the social and governance area, things like employee well-being, community impact, ethics, and board oversight. So the ESG journey usually starts with what already measurable and expands as your company builds maturity and confidence. So think of this as a marathon, not sprint. So you don't have to get everything right on day one. So it takes time to build, but most importantly, it start today because it takes time to build. So once companies start reporting, the next question is, why do they keep doing it? So, because SR is about trust and transparency, it helps your investors, your customers, your employee see that your company is well managed, responsible, and thinking long term. So, it also strengthens risk management, helping your company anticipate disruption, supply chain issue, or regulatory changes before they become costly problems. So, and very often, SR leads to greater efficiency. When you start measuring energy, water, or waste, you will discover savings and improvements you don't even know existed. So, besides that, lenders and customers are increasingly assessing your sustainability performance before they engage with you. And by doing SR, you can actually open doors to financing, to tenders, and to new markets opportunities. So, companies don't just report to comply, they report because it makes them more resilient, more competitive in the market, and more future ready. So this is where SI become truly meaningful. So you know when companies start compiling the ESG data, they often uncover insights that lead directly to better decision. It could be reducing resource use, improve processes, or identify hidden risk they didn't even know existed. Besides that, better reporting also opens up financial opportunities. So nowadays, many banks offer sustainability linked loans. So stronger ESG performance can actually translate into better loan rates. Your sustainability efforts can directly impact your cost of borrowing. So, and not just that, companies with credible SR tend to build stronger trust with customers, business partners, and regulators. And that trust gives you a competitive advantage, especially if you're supplying to a larger multinational clients who are now taking sustainability part of their procurement requirements. In conclusion, SR goes beyond transparency. It helps in smarter planning, stronger performance, and clearer value creation for your business. Okay, I know this like looks a little overwhelming, and honestly, this is exactly the experience more for most companies here. So for years, there are so many frameworks, guidelines, and rating out there. GRI, SASB, TCFD, CDP, and even local stock exchange requirements. And none of them were fully aligned with each other. And for people like us, this created a real challenge and big question marks. So where do I start? Which one matters? So which one do investors actually pay attention to? So I believe many companies genuinely want to report properly. So, but the landscape was so fragmented, duplicative, and to a certain extent, very exhausting. So it felt like a maze with no clear path. So here's the thing. So the challenge was never about willingness, it was about fragmentation. So different framework were asking similar question, but in different ways. Metrics were inconsistent, definition was not clear, and most importantly, disclosures were not connected with your financial performance. And that made sustainability look soft, even though the risks were actually very real. So the real problem wasn't the lack of effort, it was lack of clarity. So after all that confusion, here's the good news. things are finally coming together. So meet the ISSB, which stands for the International Sustainability Standards Board. So it was created specifically to solve the problem I shared earlier. So instead of company trying to juggle between frameworks and standards, the ISSB brings the most widely used frameworks together into one global baseline for sustainability reporting. And now you have a much clearer, more streamlined path moving forward. So, and here's how everything starts to click. So instead of creating something from scratch, the ISSB looked the most important part of the framework that companies were already using and unified them into one consistent, globally recognized baseline. So that means reporting now is clearer, more comparable, and much easier to start. And that's exactly why so many countries and regulators now adopting ISSB, because it finally gives everyone a common reporting language. So as you can see here, ISSB is already being adopted worldwide. So more than 50% of global GDP have either already adopted ISSB or are actively moving towards it already. So the big picture is clear. So ISSB isn't just another framework, it became the global reporting language. Regulator, investor, capital markets are all pushing for one consistent baseline. So when you start reporting using ISSB, you are aligning with the global reporting trend. So now this is where ISSB become really practical. So the entire standard is built around four pillars: governance, strategy, risk management, metrics, and targets. And think of these four pillars as the foundation of your SR. Everything flows from here. So these four pillars connect your whole sustainability story: who is overseeing it, how it ties to the business, and how risks are managed, and what is actually being measured. So one very important point to note here is that investors don't just want to see what your company is doing. They want to see how well you are managing your sustainability risk and opportunity across your business. But the structure is just half the story. So what does it actually mean for your business at the end of the day here? So these four pillars don't just organize information. They create a universal way of reporting that everyone can understand. That means that everybody can compare your companies more consistently, apple to apple. So these pillars also connect sustainability directly to financial impact. So they show how climate risk, the resource you use, the workforce issue can actually affect your P&L, your long-term value, how resilient your business is. Because ISSB is built around decision useful information. The focus is not how lengthy your report is on what truly helps your stakeholder, your investor, lender, and others make informed decision. So in short, four pillars help your SR into structured, comparable, financially meaningful, not just compliance exercise. So let's start with the first pillar, governance. So what is governance? So it's about who is driving sustainability at the top of your company. So take this example. Eco World. So a property developer in Malaysia, very famous one. So they show what good governance looks like. Their board does not just sign off on policies, they actively review sustainability performance. They take climate risk into consideration when making decisions and approve their ESG targets. So as you can see, they have a clear three-tier setup: the board, a sustainability committee, and an ESG working group. That means sustainability is built into their business, not kept in silo. So what does that tell their investors? It tells them one thing. This company takes sustainability seriously with clear accountability at every level. So ISSB always start with governance. So you know why? Because there is no oversight, there is no credibility. All right, great. So, and and second pillar is strategy. So take a look at Nestle. So they don't just reduce their environmental impact to just tick the boxes. They have actually built sustainability right into most of their manufacturing line, their sourcing, their production, and product design. So when you do that, something changes. Sustainability starts generating real value. It helps you manage your business risk, you drive innovation, and stay ahead of the competition. So, what you see here is sustainability fully integrated into long term business strategy with clear targets, clear timeline, and clear capital planning alignment. So, under ISSB, company must explain how sustainability risk and opportunity actually shape their business model and future profitability. But if you're SMEs, don't worry about that. We will guide you step by step. Yeah. Great. And third pillar, risk management. Okay, so this pillar, it's all about how well your company identifies and manages sustainability and climate-related risks, as well as how ready you are to respond when things change. So take Singtel. So Singtel is a telco company based in Singapore. So you see, their risk management process is not one-off audit, it's a systematic, continuous loop moving from a rigorous identification and analysis all the way through actionable treatment. So not ad hoc reactions, not one-off assessment, but a structured, repeatable system where they identify, they analyze, they evaluate, they treat, they monitor, and lastly report. So this structure shows that the risk management is not just about compliance, it's about staying one step ahead. So when things done right, it helps you future-proof your business and turn risk into real opportunity for long-term growth. And the last pillar, metrics and targets. So this is where sustainability becomes real and measurable. We're talking about quantified metrics, time-bound targets, and consistent progress tracking. So take Nestle Pakistan as an example. So they have mapped out a clear path with time-bound targets and quantitative metrics that show exactly where they are heading and how far they have come. So what matters most here is not just about the ambition, it's about being consistent in tracking, reporting, and communicating progress. So that's how sustainability becomes auditable, comparable, and decision useful. Great. So now here's a really important mindset shift. So under ISSB, sustainability is not just about your impact on the environmental, on society, it's about the impact on your business value. So if a sustainability issue can affect your P&L or risk profile, it becomes financially material. So if it's financially material, it must be disclosed. So that is why ISSB uses the term sustainability related financial disclosure. And what does that mean to you? So you are expected to explain three things. Number one, what sustainability risk and opportunity your company face. Two, how this could affect your financial position and future prospects. Three, how your management is responding through strategy, risk management, and targets. So under ISSB, climate change, report resource scarcity, labor issues, supply chain disruptions are not treated as soft topics. They are treated the same way as your financial risk, like your interest rate risk, your currency risk, or your credit risk, as real issues that can affect your business performance, stability, and long-term value. So now let's translate what I have shared earlier into real business situation. So they are not hypothetical climate stories. They are exactly the type of disclosure that investors and banks now expect under ISSB. So here's a simple example of a physical climate risk turning into a real financial issue. Because of heavier and more frequent rains in Guatemala, so coffee harvests are being disrupted. So in this case, supply become less predictable and farmers face higher losses. So therefore, importers ends up paying about 10% more for coffee beans every raining season. And now from an ISSB perspective, this is not just an environmental story. It directly hits the company's financials. Cost of goods sold goes up, profit margins get squeezed, and earnings become more volatile because prices fluctuate seasonally. So, under sustainability related financial disclosure, the company needs to explain three things: what climate risk it is exposed to, how that risk affect your procurement cost and margin, and how management plans to manage or mitigate that risk going forward. And here another example. Let me drink some water first. Okay, so here's another example. This time showing how a climate-related event translate directly into operational and financial risk. So when flooding occurs, warehouses become inaccessible and congested. Parcel cannot be processed on time, creating backlogs and delivery delays. And those delays lead to service penalties from corporate clients, and over time, loss of customers who simply switch to more reliable providers. So what does this mean financially? So immediate revenue loss from penalties and cancelled contracts, higher operating costs from overtime, temporary storage, rerouting of deliveries, and longer term reputational damage, which affects future business and market share. So under ISSB, this type of exposure must be disclosed. You must report it in. So because it directly affects your cash flow, your cost structure, and also your risk profile. Okay, so I understand that for many companies, the hardest part is knowing where to start. So here's a simple roadmap to help you kickstart. Think of SR as an ongoing cycle. You don't need a 100-page report on day one. So start with what you already have, then build and improve over time. And what I want you to remember this is SR is a journey. It's about progress, not perfection. So each cycle helps you gain clearer insights and create stronger business value. So let's say you don't have 100 pages. Just start with 5 pages and we will help you with that. So before you jump into the actual reporting process, so there are 3 principles that will make your life much easier. So number 1, start with what you already have: your electricity bills, your HR records, your fuel receipts, and vendor information are more than enough to get started. And second, you don't need to aim for perfection in year one. Your first report definitely will have gaps, and that's fine. So remember, what you have started is more important than perfection. And third is sustainability is a team effort. Finance, HR, operation, procurement, everyone plays a part. So the earlier you get them in, the smoother the whole process gets. So always have these three principles in mind, and you will find your reporting journey a lot more manageable and realistic than you think. Okay? And so here's something really important. So you cannot produce a meaningful report unless you fully understand how your business creates value and where it is exposed. So this is why ISSB always start with your business model and value chain, because risk and opportunity looks very different depending on who you are, a factory, a retailer, a bank, or a logistic company. All faces different challenges. So start by mapping out your operations. Where do you operate? Who are your customers and suppliers? What external issues are you facing? Could it be regulations, customer expectations, or investors' interest? So once you have all this, everything else in your report starts to make sense. And so after you mapped out your operations, the next step is to focus your efforts. So then that's where materiality comes in. So now materiality simply means focus. So not everything is equally important in your business. Under ISSB, an issue is material if it can be reasonably affect your company's future cash flow, your access to finance, or cost of capital. So the question is not about what looks good to report. It is what could actually move your financial performance or risk profile. Okay, remember, not everything is equally important in your business, so you have to identify which one is material. So ask yourself two things. Which ESG topics could highly impact your business success or reputation? And what do your customer, investors, or regulator care about the most? And those are your material issues. And that's exactly the focus of your reporting. And next step is to look at what data you already own. So most businesses already have more data than they realize. It's just sitting in your finance record, in your HR system, in your procurement files, your facility data, and operation reports. So you don't need to reinvent the wheel, start from scratch. No, no, no. Just start with what you already have. Identify the gap and assign clear data ownership. And you'll be surprised how much of your report you can already start building today. Then set your baseline. So think of baseline data as your starting point, and it allows you to answer one critical question that your board will ask. Oh, so where are we today? And how do we know if we are improving? So without a baseline, your target have no credibility. And without credibility, progress cannot be shared. So start simple, monthly electricity, water, your fuel usage is more than enough to begin with. So, and at this stage, please don't stress about precision or how accurate my data is. So what matters most right now is consistency. You do, you do, you do, you do, you do. Not correct. No, just do, just start doing. All right. So once your baseline is in place, the next piece is teamwork. So SR is never a one-person job. So finance can help with the data, and HR can track your social indicators, and operations know what's really happening on the ground. So even for smaller companies, appointing one sustainability champion can make a huge difference. So because at the end of the day, it's just not just about data collection, it's about governance and accountability. Okay, so the next step is turning your data into an actionable plan. So a roadmap comes in handy here. It helps translate your ambition into phased, realistic plan that you can easily execute. So start small. It could be switching to LED lights, for example, cutting down on waste, then gradually work your way up to bigger goals like renewables or product redesign. So a simple, clear timeline makes a difference. So it makes sustainability real and part of your everyday business planning. So once your roadmap is in place, the next step is setting clear targets to guide your progress. And remember, good targets are specific, measurable, and time bound. So always start simple. It could be like, for example, a 5% cut in electricity use or recycling 30% of your waste. So start small, clear targets like these are enough to get you started and keep you accountable. And as your data become more consistent, you can widen your KPI to include social and governance areas too. Okay, so always remember it's about progress, not about being perfect. So IISB is built on continuous improvement. A simple first year report helps build awareness and data discipline. So your report doesn't have to be perfect. You just need to start working on it. First year report help to build awareness and data discipline. Okay, so each cycle you improve, your data gets sharper. Your story gets clearer and your team become more invested into this journey. So the most important thing is not where you start, but that you start early, you build credibility and improve consistently. Yeah. So there are companies who ask, my report, so many little things. I'm very shy to show to my investors, to my stakeholders. No, no, no. Actually, start disclosing is already showing your credibility that your stakeholders know that you are very transparent on this and you are working on it. And this is very, very important. So because early movers have better access to capital, stronger customer trust, and more resilient to regulatory and also climate shock. And that is very important to all your stakeholders. And of course, every journey comes with a few challenges, and that's normal. So sometimes the data is scattered, is everywhere, and the resources are tight, not enough people to do, or management buy-in is still a work in progress. And that's okay. The key is to start with what you already have, build it into your daily routine, and take small steps. Even something as simple as tracking, I have repeating electricity use. Showing your savings can start building the momentum already just by showing. Okay, so here's the good news. Every challenges has a practical next step. So most SMEs already have their data. It's just that not all in one place. So always remember, it doesn't need to be perfect from day one. What matters is getting started. So for companies that are just starting out, for your first year is about building the foundation, not trying to cover everything. So focus on wins that are easy to achieve. Things are low cost, easy to measure, and clearly linked to your business efficiency. Start small, get your data discipline right, so show some early results, and then build from there year by year. And remember, every sustainability reporting started exactly where you are right now. So many companies tend to ask, what do we know? How do we know if our report is actually good? Now, so the answer is simple. A good report is not about being perfect, it's about being credible, consistent, and decision useful. So weak report, on the other hand, tend to have three things in common. Mostly storytelling with no real metrics. Overly positive with no risk and with no risk disclosed and completely disconnected from your business strategy. Ha. So a good report builds trust because it is transparent, structured, and improvement focused, not because it looked glossy. And very weak report is everything looks so good to be true, so good, so positive, so perfect. No, no, no. So, and here's the reality. So, investors, banks, and regulators can tell the difference immediately. So, those who can provide credible data will stay in the value chain, and those who cannot will face higher financial cost and be excluded from the tenders altogether. So, once you have started, the journey does not stop there. So SR is not one-time exercise. It grows and matures together with your business. So the key is to weave it into your strategy and don't treat it like your yearly checklist. The more you refine and improve, the stronger your resilience and credibility become. So companies that start early learn faster, attract better partners, and unlock more long-term value. So this is how reporting moves from compliance to value creation. And always remember, SR is no longer about reputation. It is about resilience, your access to capital, and your long-term enterprise value. Okay, so far so good. Let's check what are the questions that you all have already discussed in the chat. I believe we have a Keegan and our friends who helped you to answer questions, and that's really great. If you have further questions, you can always type in the chat and we will answer you. So given that, oh, okay, time is just nice for our sharing here. Throughout the whole last year until now, we have weekly sharing, free talks to share with you what we have known and latest updates, and to make sure you all have basic understandings of different new information. So we run talks right now for every Monday. We have changed a little bit. So we want to do it more frequently. So we run free talks every Monday, either at 11 a.m. or 8:30 p.m. Singapore time. So covering a wide range of ESG and sustainability topics, and they're open to everyone. So for more details on upcoming sessions, check out our website or join our LinkedIn. Later, we will share you the QR code so that you keep up with our updates. So these are the trainings that we have done. And today, you have met me. So next week, we will have the Philippine landscapes. And then the following week, we have carbon accounting. You will meet me as well. And then we have Southeast Asia sustainability regulatory landscape. Upcoming, we will know about sustainability as a driver of business advantage. And we will talk about NSRF as well. Mark your date, and sign up immediately to save your spot. All right, great. So if you, by any chance, you got any inquiry, these are the two people that I trusted the most in eco sustainability. Heng Heng Hu, talk to Heng Heng Hu, and also Deng Lao. So they will answer you, they will approach you. So either one would do, or you can text both of them. It's fine. All right, great. So thank you very much for spending your time with me today. We would love to see you at our next session. Till then, take care and stay curious. Oh, and also please join our community. Just use your phone and scan the QR code. You will directly link to our LinkedIn profile and also our WhatsApp community. We will drop messages in there. Great, great, great.